This is NR2003 Predicts. We take the entry list of the top 3 NASCAR series, send them through the N ratings algorithm, set them up by their provisional lineups, and set the forecast as they will be on race day, and we see what the computer says will be the finishing order on race day. Looking at the Xfinity race beforehand, Daniel Hemrick coming across the line first will be followed by Brandon Brown, Myatt Lander, Tommy Joe Martin's getting up there in 4th place, and Ryan Sieg in 5th. Austin Cindric looked like he was going to have this race won, swept the stages but had a late problem and ended up back in 7th spot. And some front runners also finishing poorly: AJ Allmendinger, Noah Gragson, Harrison Bird, and Riley Herbst. Some of those in the back 10. Now it's on to the Cup race. Martin Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin out in front. They will lead the field to the green flag for 400 laps of racing action. Green flag here at Dover. Side by side battling throughout this first lap. Martin Truex Jr. on the outside is going to get the momentum boost over William Byron, but problems in the back on lap number 2. Quinn Houff and Cody Ware making contact in turn number 1. They're going to spin around and bring out the caution for the first time. So we'll get it all stacked back up and see if the 19 and the 24 can settle out. It looks like the 24 is going to end up taking the lead. Kyle Larson with the best average finish here. In fact, the last time that he ran at this track, which was back in 2019, he won the race. So he is looking for a good finish here. And problems for Martin Truex Jr. Running in the 2nd position, bounces off the turn 2 wall in front of Kevin Harvick, and 19 car slaps the wall hard. He's going to try to repair that damage, get back on track, but this could ruin his chances of going for a victory here today. 4 drivers with 3 wins apiece at this racetrack, Ryan Newman being one of them and having a solid top 10 right now. Still early on in the race, but Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Martin Truex Jr., the other drivers with 3 wins, 5 other drivers with 1 victory. Kyle Busch leading the way with 13 top 5s at this track, currently holding a top 5 spot, running behind Harvick and Larson in 3rd place. Harvick has the edge on the top 10s, has 1 more than Kyle Busch at this racetrack. Trying to see if he can go for his 4th victory here, and more or less trying to just put Stewart-Haas Racing back in victory lane after the struggles they've had this season. Austin Dillon bouncing off the turn 4 wall. He's going to make contact with Alex Bowman and go for a slide across the entire front stretch. He'll come to rest up near turn number 1 and get it turned back around, and no harm, no foul. Larson leading the way over Hamlin, who we're right on board with there. Martin Truex Jr. really feeling the effects of that hit he took on the backstretch. Nowhere in sight is another race car, and he is just trying to keep up with the pace. But we're going to come to the end of stage 1, and it's going to be Kyle Larson to the line first, Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, Ryan Newman, and Bubba Wallace also earning stage points there in the top 5. BJ McLeod, kind of a surprise there, making the top 10. We get back to the restart, and Larson out in front after they make pit stops. But we're going to have problems here on the front stretch. Joey Logano, Eric Almirola, Josh Bolicki make contact. 22 and 10 go around and right back into traffic. Alfredo Elliott, Chase Briscoe, Josh Berry filling in 77. All get collected in a hard hit there. And the 22 is going to try to keep it on board, but he has some heavy damage. And on the restart, now we're seeing Denny Hamlin coming down the pit lane. He was in 2nd place. We're seeing a scrape there on his side. Not sure where that came from, but he does come down the pit lane. Now we got a caution. It looks like that might be a debris caution. The 14 might have been dropping some debris. He is trying to keep it on the racetrack. So we'll get another restart. Oh, now we got a huge crash down in turn 1. Joey Logano once again. Kevin Harvick plows into the 22. Matt DiBenedetto's involved. Ryan Newman, Corey LaJoie, Daniel Suarez. Multiple cars, and a few of them being front runners, or at least drivers we'd normally see up front. Big hits there, and that's going to take a lot of cars out of contention. And a few of them are going behind the wall, obviously, as there were big hits taken there. And looking at Denny Hamlin right now, he's in an uncommon situation trying to get laps back. fighting with the leaders as we see Kurt Busch fighting his way to the inside of Brad Keselowski. his playoff hopes took a hit as he dropped all the way back to 20th in points. Now the cut line consists of Tyler Reddick and Matt Benedetto, the 8 car running inside the top 10 right now, as he looks to improve his positioning. And he has to feel good because the 21 looks like this, and he has a lot of damage from that most recent accident, but he's still there in the 11th spot. He's still running, still kicking, just trying to see if he can get home with a decent finish. Bubba Wallace putting up a quality performance right now. Keselowski and Kurt Busch battling for the lead, but the 23 just hanging in the wings at the 3rd position. Ross Chastain's going to be the first driver to come down the pit lane, and he's going to start these green flag pit stops. Brad Keselowski comes in, gets his service, and it looks like taking that is going to help him get back in front of Kurt Busch, but the 1 car is still very much in play here, trying to see if he can get by him for the stage win, and it's not going to happen. Keselowski gets to the line first, followed by Busch, then Bubba Wallace, Ryan Preece, and William Byron. Top 5 there in that stage. We'll go on to stage 3. Making our way to the end of this 400-lap event, Kyle Larson out in front. Austin Dillon, who I believe was a lap down at some point, finds himself in the 2nd place. But a problem here on the front stretch, Kurt Busch, who finished 2nd in that last stage, he is stalled on the front stretch. So that will bring out another caution. We'll see pit stops once again, and I think it might be selective at this point as the 2 car finds his way out in front, but that green flag stint is going to barely last as Austin Dillon in the back going to get tangled up with James Davison. Not really sure what the 15 was doing there, as he was kind of in a 3-wide situation as they were coming to the line, but he is going to go around and take a little bit of damage from that. Now we have Tyler Reddick out in front and Kyle Larson going down to pit lane. He was the stage 1 winner, and now we find him going down to the pits. He was outside of the top 10 when that happened, and he comes back on the racetrack and right in front of Denny Hamlin. The 11 car was already a lap down, but that just added insult to injury and really an uncalled for move as the 5 car just merges out in front of the traffic, and the 11 is the innocent victim in that. So Ross Chastain now out in front, but he's going to get quickly swallowed up. Keselowski goes by, and it looks like Reddick will as well. But it looks like it's going to be the 8 car that holds the speed, as the 2 car of Keselowski has dropped back a ton, all the way back to 9th spot. Now the lead consists of Reddick, followed by Wallace, Kyle Busch a couple seconds back. As Keselowski just hasn't put up the speed during that restart. It looked like he made an instant move down to the inside of the 42, but now he's behind the 42 of Ross Chastain. Reddick is going to pit from the lead with about 67 laps to go, and Bubba Wallace will opt to come in the next lap just to make sure that they are on the same strategy. But it appears that Reddick had the faster stop, as he's put a 2nd on Wallace, who's now trapped in a little bit of lap traffic. But Reddick looking for his first career victory in the Cup Series. He's never been an amazing contender here at this racetrack. Only finished in the top 10 twice in the Xfinity Series here, but he's running a race that could lead him to a winning performance. Meanwhile, Kyle Larson, who we saw made that unscheduled pit stop, he has dropped multiple laps back, and he is just fully out of contention in this one. A real shame for the driver who won the first stage. Kyle Busch, we would expect that he would get up there and try to mix it up for the win, but he is not putting up a pace that is faster than the leader, as we see Wallace has gotten right back to the bumper of Tyler Reddick. Could the 23 car play a factor in this one? We've got the white flag out right now. Reddick's still out in front, and Wallace has lost a little bit of ground. It's going to take a catastrophe from Reddick for Wallace to claim this one. Reddick has strung together 6 straight top 20 finishes after a poor start to the season, but certainly nothing seemed to indicate that he would be a favorite to win here today. But circumstances have played out in his favor, and coming off of turn number 4, Tyler Reddick going to claim his first career win in the Cup Series here at Dover. Reddick found himself out in front when it most mattered, and he is going to take home the win. And Bubba Wallace also having a career day as well, as he finishes in the 2nd position. How about Ryan Preece? He gets up to 3rd place, and we have both JTG cars up in the top 10 and both RCR cars inside the top 5. Austin Dillon there in 5th. Kyle Busch would find himself in the 4th. Brad Keselowski ends up in 8th spot. Meanwhile, we see drivers like Kurt Busch, who looked like he had a chance in the middle part of the race. He ends up in 12th spot, even though he did stall out. Matt Benedetto, very damaged race car, finishes 13th. And Ross Chastain, who was inside the top 10 late in the race, he had to make an unscheduled pit stop 2 laps to go. It looked like he was about to run out of gas. He ends up back in 14th. And we have plenty of drivers that dropped out of this race. Cole Custer, Kevin Harvick, Chase Elliott, Eric Almirola, Joey Logano, Martin Truex Jr. A lot of heavy hitters that we would have expected to see out front. The day did not go their way today. That is it for NR2003 Predicts. We hope you enjoyed the race, and we will see you all next time.